So when it comes to like a man who's running a roster, right, and the way to sort of tell if you're on one or not is
Hi guys. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back.
Got a good one for you today, you guys.
We do.
Got a
You know what?
hottie
I'm
on the
going
show.
to open with some tea
What is it? Do I know
of
about
who
it?
we were maybe going to have today. I'm going to say it. I'm going to start strong.
I don't
We
care.
were going to have Trevor from Love is Blind, who was like big meathead mullet man.
Because you guys are dying for our Love is Blind recap, and it is coming.
Yeah, but you know, he's kind of like on the market. I thought he would be a good person to have.
Seems
and
like an angel.
Yeah, he seemed like such an angel. I was like so into his vibe on the show. And we had him like ready to go. And then all this stuff came out about him having a girlfriend the whole time. The screenshots were released. I think Tessa, you sent it to us, didn't you? Tessa sent it.
Tessa's always 2 steps ahead.
Yeah, she
on the
always
tea.
is. And she was just like, I don't know, we should look into this. And, you know, there had been things come out about the cast members that weren't real. So we were like, well, let's investigate it. It looked very real. It was like a lot of text messages.
There's been a lot of allegations of cast members being in relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some were substantiated and some were not.
Yeah. So we have been dealing with the publicist who also just kind of fucked us a little
She
bit.
did me
So,
dirty.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't care. I'm spilling this tea. And we were like, hey, what's going on with this? You know, we saw this and this will not bode well for him to come on our show. And, you know, like we're not in the business of like, let's have someone come on and just like hold their feet to the fire. And
Ashley
do,
won't
like,
let me
a
have Tom
whole-
Sandoval on.
I don't want to have Tom Sandoval on. Do you guys want this? I keep saying no. I'm like, I don't want him on our show. I don't want to give him a platform. I don't care about him. I find him like just someone I don't even want to talk to.
Also, it's over for me.
Well, you keep asking me, and I don't want it. Like, maybe Rayna can do a solo. I just don't think he's been on every other podcast. Listen to Nick Vial, light him up.
We've talked about this, having solo episodes where you get to pick guests.
Yeah, and I would have
Ashley's gonna be
Shaq, and Rayna would have Sandoval. So anyway, so we like messaged a publicist, and she was like, "Yeah, unfortunately, I think this is true." And we were like, "Okay." So anyway, I'm sure people know that this is true, and this might not even be a big deal. I mean, he's not someone that like made it to the engagement round, but like had a girlfriend the whole time. And like you read those text messages, and it's like, why do people think they can get away with this? Like, it's gonna come out.
I mean, it's a big deal to me in the sense that, like, a lot of people applied for the show who had positive, good intentions and did not get cast. And
Yeah.
somebody who was in a relationship doing this, I don't know, for Instagram followers or
Right.
whatever, like, got on this show and got past people that, like, actually probably would have been, like, deserve the hype. Like, it's a bummer to me.
It's so weird to
What is
be
the
the
point of
girlfriend on the other side of that. Like, okay, babe, go off and just go get famous for us. What? Like, what is the vibe there? It's like, do what you got to do for us so we can build our life together.
so you
like,
can
you're
open a
not gonna
gym
get that
together?
famous. It's like you're not. It's not even like that anymore. You know what I mean? With like season 6 of this show, like there's no like, let me just run off and get engaged to someone else so I can make us that money, baby. You just wait for me till I come home. It's like what she's gonna do is get on TikTok.
Also, what money are you going to make? You're going to get a couple of Instagram deals, maybe, and a bunch of women sliding into his DMs offering to suck his dick.
Well,
I don't want
I'm
it.
just speculating that that's the conversation, but I just find all of it like kind of pathetic.
I know. I don't like it. And I don't
Yeah.
like that it took the spot from somebody that I would have enjoyed watching on TV and deserved the hype because I was like, what an angel.
I know. Anyway, that's the tea.
That's
We're
what was
coming in
gonna
hot.
happen. Yeah. I mean, I have receipts. So,
Yeah.
what is it? The truth is the ultimate defense.
I want to be messier.
Who else do you want to throw under the bus?
Well,
today?
when I think back to like we kept it so classy with all that Chelsea Handler stuff, and there was so much more we could have said about her publicist.
Oh, we could have burned it to the ground.
Yes, we could have really burned it all to the ground, and maybe one day we will. I want to be messier. I don't give a fuck. We are trying to play it too nice. Where does that get us?
The Chelsea Handler tea would have been so good. I'm sorry, you guys.
One
the moment
day.
passed. She was on the show years ago. She was a bitch.
No, it was just that she just like
Dragged us
slut
publicly.
shamed us. Yeah, it was just very odd. If you know, you know. But the way her publicist tried to spin it was like shocking. These publicists.
The receipts that you and I have been given.
I know. And then we're always like, take the high road. I'm done with that.
I just like, who are you guys hiring that puts this stuff in writing?
Yeah.
That is
When
crazy.
they
to
go
me.
low, I want to go lower.
I'm just trying to leave more room on the high road for you guys.
Yeah, if you guys want to take the high road, I'll take the road less traveled.
That's my tattoo.
Okay. all
Anyways,
right.
let's talk about some people that do support us that we love, who are
Yes,
wonderful. And that's
love that.
you guys, but also the sponsors of the show.
Yeah.
Thank you to Buffy for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Buffy makes award-winning bedding that is soft on you and soft on the earth. For $20 off your Buffy order, visit buffy.co and enter promo code GGE. And thanks to AG1 for supporting GGE. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and for a limited time, you'll get 10 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/GGE.
Yes, and thanks to a new partner, Hungry Root, for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Right now, Hungry Root is offering our Girls Gotta Eat audience 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/GGE.
I am so hungry after scrolling their website.
I
I want to
know.
leave so bad and go eat my box.
I've been having some issues with that, like looking at food stuff late at night when I'm starting to get a little hungry, or it's a problem. So last night, Infatuation LA posted the best bagels in LA, which is an oxymoron. No, I'm just kidding.
It is.
But it's
It
no, but some of them look so amazing.
They try their best. It's never going to be New York.
But you've been telling me about Layla Bagels, which is in my new neighborhood where I'm moving on March 15th. And so I was looking them up. I was just like foaming at the mouth.
It's really good. And you got to do a bang bang with Layla and Gian Isaac Bakery, which is next door. And
Okay.
you try them both at the same time. That's
Okay.
my favorite
A
thing.
bang bang?
A bang bang.
Mukbang.
You don't know about a bang bang?
What? It's just like a double
Just-
team?
Yeah, you just do like two places at this, like back to back. A bang bang. You don't know this term?
Oh.
Do you know this term?
know her term. What's mine?
A mukbang is different.
Mukbang. Oh, well, so my boyfriend recently confessed to me that he
mukbang?
likes to watch mukbang. Not like sexually. He just really likes watching them like eat all this food. He's like, I'm into it. And so it makes him hungry.
That is so funny. What is like his brand of mukbang?
I don't know.
Does he like Asian food or tacos? Is he like a specific
Oh, I
cuisine?
thought it was like mostly Asian food. Is it not? It can be anything.
I think so.
I thought that it came from that culturally.
I thought,
but you could do it with whatever.
No, I see. There's an ASMR hot honey fried chicken. It's a Korean word.
Right. So yeah, like
It's-
culturally, but I'm sure like white people have appropriated it and they're doing it with like pizza or something,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yes, just like drunk white men at
Yeah.
frats. Yeah. Anyways, you gotta do a bang bang. You just do two places at once. It's different. You don't do it on
Okay.
the internet necessarily. Although I don't do much that's not on the internet, but you don't have to.
But yes, and I have been like following some more LA food people because I came to you one day and I was like, my
to you.
whole
I came to you.
Instagram feed is New York food. That's also making me hungry, but this is pointless. You know, like I can save some of these posts here and there, but I need like good LA food people. So you've introduced me to some people and I've been crushing it on the food front.
Hungry in LA. This guy Eddie.
Yeah,
I like
he's
his
good.
stuff.
Okay. Do you want to talk about your hair?
Yeah, you guys are probably on YouTube watching how beautiful I look and thinking, how did she do it? And it's Mary Kate O'Connor. She's from Benjamin Salon here. I got permanent hair extensions, you guys. If you've been a fan of the podcast for a long time or a short time, you know that my clip-in hair extensions are always sticking out, constantly just popping out of my they're hard to manage. And I have like thinning hair because I've been hammering my hair with hot tools. But anyways, I asked like what was a good place in LA for extensions. A lot of people mentioned Mary Kate and she suggested Keratin Tips, which are sort of like they glue each piece on. It takes a long time. It's like 4 hours. You feel like, am I still alive?
Right.
How have I survived this long? I'm so strong.
Totally.
But yeah, they're permanent. I think you change them like every 3 or 4 months. So less than you change like a track. And I don't know. I'm loving it. I feel like every morning I wake up with this long mermaid hair and I feel just like beautiful and confident. It's really fun.
It's amazing. It's so nice. I love the way it looks. I'm so glad you're happy with it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
thrilled.
that's a journey, that 4 hours.
You're just like, all I've done is sit here. So why am I the most tired I've ever been in my whole life?
I know. I'd honestly rather like walk for 4 hours than like sit in a salon chair.
I know. And you're talking to so many people.
And you've never looked uglier.
Did you see my Instagram story? I literally wrote, I have never looked uglier.
There's no uglier time than when you're in a black cape, hair slicked back, and then something about it. you're
95
like, am
foils.
I 10 times the size I thought I was? Like, I'm like, are those my legs? Why do my calves look like a mountain climber?
Is this what other people see when they see
I'm
me?
like, I'm a linebacker when I'm in that salon chair. Not that there's anything wrong if you're built like that, but I'm just like, what happened to her?
Other people are in and out, and you're like, don't look at me.
I
Ew.
look 85 in the face.
Yes.
I'm like, why even get Botox if I'm going to look like this?
I hope they do face surgery while I'm still sitting here because this is
so
gross.
bad.
All my Instagram stories were me with the camera in front of my face. You just like can't see my phone, or but the phone in front of my face, you can't see my face. I got there, you guys. Anyways, I love it. I really can't recommend it enough. And she just was fun to talk shit with, and she does regular hair extensions too, like tracks. But it was really fun. I feel really like, listen, I'm a confident ass girl normally, but it just makes me feel nice. I wake up with flowy hair.
Yeah, our hair is such a thing. You know, like I'll do my little clip-in moments here and there, but like even I was watching the episode last week. I was like, I can see it. I can see that it's not a perfect color match. I didn't go and get them dyed. I thought they were perfect, but then you get into certain lighting, and you're like, I can see it. Like it's just, it's always such a journey. My hair is thinner, it's fine, and so they pop out. Like I've ordered the kind that are for like more fine hair, but it's just like always. I mean, Nutrafol attacking it from within is the best bet I got.
From inside the cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also just cuts a little time out for me because I'm always like, I'm curling the extensions, I'm clipping them in, and then I'm constantly fidgeting with my head to make sure that they're like in place and like, are they sticking out or can people see them? So I don't have to do that now, and I'll give it like 3 months and see how I feel about it. I mean, it's not cheap, so I don't know, but I feel really good and confident and nice. And anyways, that's my rec in LA, Benjamin Salon, Mary Kate. It's MERI, Kate O'Connor.
Cute.
Cute. I want to get an update from you. Okay. Because last week we were talking about bathtubs, and you said that you would take your last bath in your house.
First and last.
Your first and last this weekend, and you have.
We did take a bath. I mean, we had talked about it in advance. He knew I wanted to do this bath thing. Like I had mentioned before, this past weekend, my boyfriend came to visit. We're long distance if you're new around here. And so it was like the last weekend we would spend in my house in West Hollywood, which is the only house he's ever really been in with me in LA. And it was just kind of like sad. I don't know. We've had a lot of memories in there. It's just felt like we have our little home and our family, and when Azul's there. And so it's just kind of like sad for him to leave and be like, this is the last time we're going to be in this house. Meanwhile, though, I'm so excited. I'm like, no, it's going to be so much better. Like
we'll grow our love in another house. Yeah.
I'll be closer to the airport to pick your ass up. And he's just so thoughtful and wanted to make it special. So we did get some like little tea lights and some flowers for the bathroom. And he had ordered bubble bath, but it didn't come in time. So I randomly had some pack of like lavender foam bath. Like it was foamy enough. You were very concerned we didn't have bubbles.
Well, you sent me a video of you guys in the bath. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like, well, that's what I want from her. It didn't look like there was any bubbles in the bath. And I was like, don't make the same mistake that I did.
It was like foam on the top. But even like hardcore bubbles, they just disappear.
They
Hot
do.
take.
They do.
That bath is also so big. We fit in it perfectly. I mean, I'm 5'10", he's 6'3", long limbs on both of us, and it took him like an hour to fill it up. Yeah. I was like, what am I even doing while he's in there? Like, I just like settled in and watched some Curb. I was like, this is going to take a while. No, I'm kidding. But like, it just took a long time. So the bath was big. We both fit in it. It was very comfortable. I will say.
What'd you do in the bath?
We'd been out all day. I planned a brewery. That's the hardest word to say.
You just gotta say it, keep it moving, like, and you're like, you're wrong. I'm not wrong.
But then
I planned a brewery call.
Yeah, you didn't even.
I didn't even get crawl right.
So we actually did a little brewery crawl in downtown LA that I planned because he's a beer guy, and there was all these great breweries downtown, the Arts District, and so we had been like not drunk but drinking beers all day. We were just, it's one of those days you've been day drinking. Nothing like makes you sleepier than a bath. I feel like it's like a Thanksgiving dinner. Like submerging yourself in hot water. I just feel like I'm gonna pass out in there. I feel like it's a safety hazard. Like I'm not trying to get too dark with it, but I do understand how people drown in the bathtub. Like you get drunk and you come home and you get in the bath. Like Rayna, I feel like a body tiredness comes over me. Like that's why it's not for me.
You don't like it.
Like I'd choose a cold plunge any day that like energizes you than a hot bath. Like I think we were both in that bath. Like oh my god. Like we'd had beers all day. We were like, are we gonna pass out in here? And so we like made out a little, and then we were like, I can't be in this anymore.
What is wrong with me that I had sex in it? It energizes me.
That's fine. Like everybody's different.
Blacked out. Did you bring wine? Or you were already drunk from the day?
We didn't actually bring any alcohol in. There was like a good Spotify playlist that was on. It was like makeout jams or something. It was a nice vibe.
You don't need alcohol as much as I do. Last night I didn't drink, and I was like, what do people do? I don't drink. This is crazy. Like I got in bed at like 7 o'clock because I was like, what is the point of even being awake? I'm not drinking this. Well, I'm not drinking this week. It's Tuesday and I drink on Sunday, but I'm not drinking a lot this week. And I literally was just like, because you know that like I don't think I drink every day, but I drink every day. And I just last night I was like, what do I do? I guess I'll go to bed at 7.
Oh my god!
And I actually talked to you longer than I normally do. Like I talked to you till like 10 o'clock last night.
I know, that was crazy.
Normally I'm not lucid that long.
That's what happens.
That's what people they work.
No, like at 8 p.m. usually you retire to your chambers and you like make sure you go all the way up to your little like crow's nest with your wine and your pretzel chips, and like you're done for the night.
That's what I do.
I know you don't leave your phone downstairs, but that's what I picture in my head. Is like she's retired
I am.
for the evening.
I usually put it on the side of my bed. I got those Buffy sheets. They're so comfy. And the Helix mattress, it's just like a double whammy. So it's really nice. Anyways, yeah, I'm up in the crow's nest. But you know, like I'll say like I'm tired and I don't really want to talk anymore. But like what I mean is like I'm putting, is it a fatwa? I'm putting like I don't want to work. You can talk shit to me about people.
Not the fatwa. That's what
They're going to die.
You're going to die. Yeah, curse.
A curse.
I'm putting a
boundary. Iron curtain.
Something like that.
Moratorium. Did I make that up?
Let us know in the comments.
Anyways, you can talk shit to me after 7 p.m., but not about work.
Yeah. Okay. That's going to bother me.
Wait, you know what's really funny is our
That
guest
word.
today. So I was going to get on the phone with him to talk about like topics, and he sent me a list of times, and it was like I'm free from like 1 to 2, 3 to 4, and then 9 to 11 p.m. And I called him, and he was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, "I just need to. Was that a typo?" And he's like, "No, I'm just up." So I figure I'll just talk.
I don't hate it.
Made me laugh so hard.
I know. I mean, I sometimes see people recording podcasts late at night, you know, especially if you have like another job, or I just see people doing stuff late at night. I mean, the most work stuff I would do late at night would be calls with like the strippers. Which would be so weird at like an 8 p.m. call with a stripper. I'm like, Tessa, you got to get on this.
You're sharp at night. I'm not. But vice versa. Like, I like to get up in the morning and work, and I don't think you would enjoy doing that at 7 a.m. Moratorium.
You just said that earlier.
No, I didn't. I said Miranda or something. Moratorium. Did I make that up? I'm putting a moratorium on work talk.
I wasn't thinking of that word, like an embargo.
Embargo means it can't come out till later. So like tomorrow,
Yeah.
like the
Kibosh?
Love is Blind publicist told me there's an embargo on releasing interviews with the cast, even though Nick Viall and everybody else has.
Yeah. Kibosh?
Putting the kibosh on something is just ending it.
Okay.
That's you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm putting a kibosh. Is kibosh Yiddish? I'm putting the kibosh
Yeah,
on
it's
this.
Yiddish.
A moratorium, I think, is temporary.
Okay.
Kibosh is forever.
Yeah. That's forever.
Like when we put the kibosh on this podcast, we are going to bury people alive on the last episode.
Yeah. Big dreams of that. Okay. So I do want to share this prom dress story. I feel like people are like, we don't care. But I just think like, I don't want to lie. I don't want to be like next week and then not ever do it. You know, I want to hold myself accountable.
That's how you get people to tune in every week. You're like, next week we're going to do this.
You know, yeah, people are probably like, this is clickbait.
People also really want a long distance relationship episode, and we are going to do it soon.
Okay.
Okay, but before you tell that story, we're going to do an ad break.
Oh,
You guys
we're
have to
just
keep tuning in.
Blue balling you even more. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about this new partner for us, which I had heard about them and I was so curious about them. So I was so excited to use them and partnering with them. And this is Hungry Root. So if you have ever had struggles eating healthy, juggling grocery shopping, meeting your dietary preferences, or just not feeling your best, this is going to be a great option for you. So I am so obsessed with this. Like, I just don't have the time to like grocery shop. I mean, you know, I don't want to. I guess I don't really have so much extra time or the desire to do it. You know,
run 2 companies. If you can outsource one thing, it's grocery shopping.
but I think people like do enjoy it. I don't enjoy it, you know? And I am cooking for 1, you know, 2 max.
Yeah.
And that's on the rare occasion. So, you know, there's food wasting and all that kind of stuff. So I love stuff like this. And so we'll tell you more about it. But Hungry Root delivers food you'll love. Right now, Hungry Root is offering you 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/GGE. Okay, so the fun part is this quiz that they're going to get to know you, and then they're going to build a personalized cart with all your groceries for the week. So we love the quiz. I mean, just talking about what you like to eat.
It's so granular. It only takes like a minute or two, but like the amount of questions they ask about how good are you at cooking, how much time do you want to spend, what is your diet? I wrote that I wanted fish, and they were like, do you like smoked fish?
Yeah.
I was like, this is granular.
Right. Do you like cod? You know, and like what meats do you like? You know, so I marked like I do like beef and chicken and not pork and lamb, or you know, I'll eat it from time to time, but not what I want to like cook and stuff. So you take this quiz, and then they're going to recommend groceries, but each order is fully customizable. So they're going to do the recommendations, but you can always change things, and then take their suggestions or choose anything that you want: fresh produce, high quality meat and seafood, pantry staples, and more. And this is also really important too, because it's like you can trust where they're getting the food, and you know, you never know what you're out there buying. And so I took it, and they gave me like 4 4 recipes, really incredible taco recipe, pastas. They'll have like a really good grain bowl. So I made these like incredible chicken tacos. I just love them so much. And like a pasta kind of bolognese, like beef sauce that I was obsessed with. Everything was like really easy. I marked that too. I wanted like less time. That was part of the quiz. Is like, I want to save time.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then they even ask you that on a granular level. Like, okay, but are you okay with a little more time? No, I'm not actually. Make this as easy as possible. And then there's 2 to 3 breakfast items in my box. There's a few snacks and sweets. This is all stuff you can mark, and you can build your boxes like big or as small as you want. And you can really cover your whole week. Like you can be like, I want breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the whole week. Snacks included, desserts included. I had some cookies. I'm a big like slut for cookies, so I had some of those in there. And then there's going to be, of course, your recipes, so you can make them with all the fresh ingredients that you're going to get, and everything's going to like taste great, contain whole, trusted ingredients. So we just love this. We love like your personalized profile, and that all like the grocery shopping is going to be done for you, and these meals taste incredible. So we would love for you guys to check it out. Right now, Hungry Root is offering Girls Gotta Eat listeners 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/GGE to get 40% off your first delivery and get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/GGE. Don't forget to use our link so they know that we sent you. And of course, take pictures of the stuff you guys make in your boxes and tag us, Girls Gotta Eat Podcast, on Instagram.
And something that I use literally every day of my life for years now is my Buffy bedding. Buffy makes award-winning bedding that is soft on you and soft on the earth. They use innovative design and earth-friendly material to make bedding that is softer, safer, and also better for our planet. So my bed, the guest bedroom, it's all the Buffy Breeze sets. So I do the sheets and the comforter, and I have a duvet cover, but it keeps it really cool. I don't have air conditioning in my house, but lots of people in Venice know, but it keeps me nice and cool. I am obsessed with the Breeze sheet set. I've like never felt sheets that soft. I didn't know that they really could be. They come in so many colors. So I have the redwood and the earth because I was just looking to like jazz up my bedroom a little bit with some like different colors, but they're really breathable. I cannot believe how soft they are. And I just washed my new set and I was like worried they would like lose softness, but like, they're just so perfect. They make my bedroom look great. You guys know I spend a lot of time in bed. It makes me really happy. And then Buffy offers a free trial. They offer a free 7-night at-home trial so you can experience Buffy before committing to buying it. Shipping is free. Customers also enjoy a 100-night free returns policy. You're never going to love sleeping with a top sheet and sleeping naked more than with this set.
Those are your pajamas.
I love it so much. And we're going to give you guys a discount. It's for $20 off your Buffy order. Visit buffy.co and enter GGE. That's buffy.co, promo code GGE for $20 off.
Okay, so I'm going to tell this story. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, Kate Kennedy brought it up on our episode with her. That was earlier this year. Great episode. You guys loved it.
People love
the truth
it.
about millennials.
Yeah.
And I guess I had told her this just talking in conversation as a friend. She brought it up during the episode. And I was like, I've never shared that story. And I was saying I was going to go tell it on her podcast and like do an exclusive. But now I'm like, that's not fair. You guys get to hear it first. I'll still tell it on hers. I did her podcast years ago. I had such a blast. I always like love talking about like nostalgia and girlhood and all the things with her. So in my high school in Smyrna, Delaware, there was a tradition that only seniors could wear white to the prom. So my high school had a lot of like really cool special traditions. I mean, nothing like that extraordinary, but like our homecoming floats were like nothing I've ever seen. Like we would spend weeks building them, like puffing each flowers. Like they looked insane. No one in the state had floats like ours. Like, we just did things like, the cheerleaders would decorate the football players' lockers and, Spirit Week and all that kind of stuff. Like the homecoming parade. Like, I don't know. I just went to very like quintessential kind of small town high school. And I'm sure a lot of people had those traditions too. But one that I've never really heard of, like, I don't know if you had heard of this, like for seniors wearing white.
No.
Yeah. So I was like so excited to wear white for senior prom. I got this giant, like princessy, like I swear it was like a wedding dress. I got it at a bridal shop. Like
Where else do you sell white dresses?
I don't know. It's like Macy's.
Bridal shops in the bridal section.
But I had this like vision. I didn't even have a date. And I had this vision. And I got this dress that was like literal looks like a wedding dress at like a bridal shop in Dover, like 6 months in advance. Like I saw it. I had to have it. I was like, Mom, that's the one. So I'll post a picture of this at some point. I wore it like years later, like joking costume wise to like a music festival with this group I used to hang out with who always wore costumes and stuff. So I do have some photos in it. So about a month or two prior to prom, I start hearing like rumblings about some junior girls saying that they're going to wear white. What?
Ashley doesn't like when people break the rules.
No, what the fuck are you? No, this is honor the tradition. Respect your elders. This is our school tradition. Like, don't be fucking brats. Like, wait your turn, right?
Yeah.
So I started being like, what is going on here? When it got back to me, and I started like asking some teachers about it, and my favorite teacher, Mrs. Conlon, she was my French teacher. I think she was from the town, had been to high school, and she was like, this is a tradition since I've been in high school.
But you
Like,
asked her if she's heard the tea?
Well, I just was like, don't you feel like this is a real tradition? You've been here forever. You went to school here too. She's like, yeah, it's a thing, like fuck that, basically.
Okay.
Or she said it in French. And then like other students are talking about, and I'm kind of talking to people. And then as the editor of the high school newspaper, I was like, I'm going to write an expose about this. So it starts getting around the school. I mean, I was like in a small town.
I forgot that you were the head of the news also.
I ran the news at that school. No, I was the editor of the...
I forgot that you controlled the narrative.
I controlled the media. I controlled the liberal media at Smyrna High School. So I'm the editor of the high school newspaper of the Eagle Eye, editor-in-chief, right? So I'm like, I'm going to report on this. And so I'll read the article. I have the article in full right now.
God, okay, good.
My mom found this in my scrapbook. Okay. Wearing white at prom should remain a senior tradition. And then, so I didn't really want to like get dragged. So I just said by the senior girls on the Eagle Eye staff.
You can credit yourself.
I didn't put my name on it.
You just did the ghostwriter with all of
everybody
us.
agreed, and we did collectively contribute. But like I wrote this shit, but I was like, make it a little more.
You're the voice of the seniors.
Right. Like I remember like people on the staff, like they all agreed to this. But I was like, maybe make it a little like easier on myself, right? And okay, there's something special about wearing white to the prom. It's a tradition that has been kept exclusively for senior girls for as long as the teachers at Smyrna High can remember. That's not to say that some underclassmen haven't broken the tradition throughout the years, but most have been respectful of this unwritten rule. Senior girls look forward to their senior prom for a lot of reasons, but many look forward to it in part because they get to pick out their perfect white dress. Many wait until they are seniors to get a white dress because they know and respect their tradition. Even though not all seniors choose to wear white, they should still be the only class of girls that has the choice. All of the senior girls that were present in homeroom on Thursday of last week were polled. I forgot I did a poll.
You polled the homeroom. You were the original Instagram story poll. How'd you poll?
All of the senior girls that were present in homeroom on Thursday last week were polled to see how they felt about the tradition.
Did you stand in front of the room and say,
No, I really organized this poll. Like,
tell me about the poll.
I can't remember how I did it. Did I go to every homeroom? I mean, there's probably
every homeroom.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I sent it out and like you filled it out. I can't remember how I did this poll.
I just imagine you standing in front of the room and being like, all in favor, say aye, and then you go and the ayes have it.
Yeah. A whopping 80% believed that it is senior tradition to wear white to the prom, while 19% disagreed and 1% was undecided.
1%. Who disagreed?
Senior Trisha Jones stated, I've waited 3 years to wear a white dress and now it doesn't seem as special because so many underclassmen are doing it. Also, like I interviewed like girls who were like kind of bitchy, like friends, but I was like, I know Trisha will pop off.
You picked the bitchiest
and so will
ones.
Jenny. Senior Jenny Davis said, I want to wear white to the prom because I think it's a senior tradition. And then I went for the teachers. Many of the teachers at Smyrna High feel that it's also a tradition that should be kept. Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Mrs. Mary Conlon, who has been a teacher at SHS for 21 years and is also this year's Teacher of the Year. So I had to throw that in, give her some street cred. Said that it is a tradition the whole time she was in high school and has been the whole time she has taught here. She stated, I think it's a way to single out the seniors on their special night and make them identifiable at the prom. She added, I think it should remain a tradition because we're starting to lose a lot of those things on which we look back on. And then a whole bunch of stuff like, this is a magical night, blah, blah, blah.
But you did a lot of work. You had data, you had accolades, you had reviews.
I got a guy, Senior John Childs, who also brought kegs to my Halloween party. So shout out to him. He stated, it separates the seniors from the underclassmen. And I think it should stay a senior privilege. Plus my girlfriend is wearing white. Then I got a junior because I want to get, representation from everybody. Junior Michelle Walls agreed by commenting, even though I'm an underclassman, I still think wearing white is a senior tradition. I got the one Jewish guy at the school.
Wow,
Senior
diversity.
Senior Jeff Spiegelman summed up the guy's side by saying, I know that the tradition of wearing white is supposed to be exclusive for senior girls. If I were a senior girl and I knew that underclassmen were wearing white, I would be quite perturbed.
Not the Jews.
I think he went on to be in politics. Literally, that's the only Jewish person I knew. I went to his bar
pushed
mitzvah.
him into politics.
Yeah, perturbed. Of course, he's going to drop a big word on us. Jews. It may not be a big deal to some, but it is to many. It's a tradition that has not yet died, which was proven by our survey.
YouTuber survey.
Okay. And should be respected. If we lose the one tradition that is made to make senior girls feel special on the most magical night of their lives, then what do we have left? Mic drop.
You really, really believed in this.
So did the whole school, Rayna. I feel like you're not on my side.
I'm 100% on your side.
Okay.
And the award-winning teachers, and that Jew, and the guy, and the junior, and all those bitches you interviewed. I am not the 1% of undecided. I am of the 80%.
Okay. So now let me also drop this, that our newspaper ran in the town paper. So it was like the last 2 pages of the town paper. It was a really cool experience. It felt like
Yeah,
a real
it's amazing.
newspaper. Like it ran in the Smyrna Clayton Sun-Times. So it felt like really legit. The whole town read it, right? So I just, I got to be the editor of that. I like won some awards when I was in high school for my writing because a lot of people saw it. It was very cool. So this runs, right, in the town paper, okay? And of course, some of the junior girls were all pissed, but I was like, who fucking cares about these girls, right? But then some of the moms, like some of the towny moms got all riled up and started writing letters to the editor.
In your cute little town, and you're like, little do you know, you're writing to me.
Like one mom who also was a fucking cunt and like
Name
she
her.
was in my neighborhood, right? I like when I was a kid, I was like 5, I like left her house crying because the mom was so mean to me. Like, fuck this bitch forever, right? My mom was like, you're never going over there again. She's such a bitch. She wrote like a letter to the editor, like dragging like me essentially, like the senior
The
girls.
fact that the moms got involved in
Yes.
this is
So there was like
crazy.
drama in the town. And like Corey was like, my mom's friends are like talking about this. Like it's a big deal that moms are like, how dare they? Our kids can wear whatever we want, whatever. So, but everyone's on my side. I was like, I'm winning out here. Like the teachers, the seniors, whoever. Like I heard some like dumb rumors. Some junior girls were going to throw drinks at me on the prom, like.
Did your mom at any point say, don't do this, or I'm proud of you, you should do this? No one was telling you not to do anything.
I feel like
Who
my
am I-
mom was like, this is par for the course. Like,
Your mom's like, Ashley's gonna Ashley.
So people like, they're probably gonna like throw a punch on you at the prom. I was like, fucking bring it, bitches. Like I'll stand up
Tie-dye
here
dress,
covered in punch,
bitches.
like Carrie. So I didn't have a date this whole time, right? Which I'm like, this is a little weird, but maybe I just show up solo, just like I run this town, whatever. So then I got a date.
We gonna run this town.
Yeah, exactly. So like I could just show up. I'm like, I don't care about boys or any of y'all. So then I get set up with a date, and he would end up being my boyfriend, the first person I slept with, like, like my first like love, technically, whatever. So, and he just had like a lot of swag. Like he really resembled Sean Patrick Henry in Save the Last Dance. And here I am, a white girl. I was like, I am Julia Stiles. Like I'm gonna break it down at this dance. Like remember we thought she just ate up those dance moves back then. So I started to talk to him more and get really excited for prom. And then I'm like, oh my god, how am I even going to Julia Stiles the dance floor in this white princess dress? How am I going to feel his boner when we're grinding? Like I can't
Never
wear
thought
this
about
dress.
it. Yeah, you didn't actually think about the dress.
I didn't think I was going to have this like swaggy date.
and 9 layers of tulle in between the two.
Like, how am I going to bump and grind with this tool?
With his tool through this tool.
So I have a meltdown. I remember being in my bedroom and be like, I can't wear that dress. I started to like panic. Like I can't wear that dress. This like expensive dress I've had for months. Like, how can I tell my mom? Whatever. So I just like went crying to my mom. Like, I can't do this. And I like this guy so much. And like, I just can't wear this dress. I like had a full blown meltdown. And she was like, you are the fucking worst.
She's like, the
you
town's
know?
rooting for you, Ashley.
Yeah, everybody's rooting for you. So I just like begged. I was like, can I borrow some money? I'll pay you back. I'm going to have a summer job, obviously, whatever.
Aw.
And she was finally like, fine. Just, you can take my credit card. Don't tell your father and just deal with this. Whatever. Here's your max you can spend. Let's just go and get the fuck out of here. So I had like a 2-day window to get this dress. That was a week of prom. I had a meltdown week of prom. I had the soccer game, all senior things, whatever. So I had like a 2-day window. I had an away game that day. We had to leave the school. So
The away game.
I skipped school after lunch. I went all the way up to Christiana Mall, drove like 40 minutes, rolled up into Cachet, saw the loudest, sluttiest red sequin dress, just copped it, grabbed a little bag on the way out, stopped into Macy's, bought a kitten heel. I was back to school by 3:30 to leave for the away game on the bus. So I just found the perfect dress, right? So I had this like red dress. My mom was like, Ashley, are you kidding me? She's like, I'm hearing about this article.
You're a white dress icon of this town.
You wrote this fucking thing, got the whole town riled up. You're going to wear red? And I was like, I'm destined for greatness. Like I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I started to get a little worried, like, is this okay? Like, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? And so that's what I wore to prom. I mean, like, on prom night, this girl who had pissed off the whole fucking town in the name of the white dress tradition just rolled up in the loudest fucking red dress anyone had ever seen. And I was just like, it's what it is.
It is like President of the United States energy. It is so crazy that you did this. What did people say?
People were giving me dirty looks and I shot them right back. I was like, I got this hot date on my arm. I'm bumping and grinding to Ja Rule. That was the first time I got my pussy ate. I was like, I'm on cloud 9. I don't give a fuck.
Also, it's really I mean, who's going to be mad at you besides the junior girls? Like, it's funny. It's a funny way to neg people. It's like, I'm just standing up for what's right. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. This is how it should be.
Thank you, sis. Exactly. I never said I was wearing white.
Run the tape
And
on
I
the
didn't run that article. The staff did.
Everyone did. Actually, I didn't write that article. Prove it.
So that is the
That
prom
is
dress
so
story.
funny.
Have you seen it? I mean, don't worry, guys. I'll post pictures of both. But yeah, I mean, it's just you can see the cutout here, but it was just like red.
It's really red.
Yeah, it's just top red sequins. That was the style. That
You still
in
have this? Can I borrow
2001.
this? I like this top.
Isn't it nice? I know. I feel like
It's like a triangle cut, like diamond cut out at the top.
yeah, and it's got a little halter straps at the top, and then a totally open back.
This is slutty.
I know. It's nice.
This is really nice.
Yeah, I think
Thin
of course I
tulle.
still have it.
Thin dress.
Yeah,
You
thin.
can fill that penis through it.
Yeah. I'm just
This is
dancing
a nice ass dress.
all my life. I pray for someone like you. And I think no.
I imagine you walking to prom like, oh,
Who gonna run this town tonight? Yeah. Meanwhile, it's like a Titanic theme, you know. It's just
They're like, all you do is buy a red dress, Ashley.
every night in my dreams. Yeah. So that's a story. And that's just like, I don't know, it's like one of many. Like I was just really just like, I'm gonna do me. I was like insubordinate, could be kind of a brat, but also just like, I don't know, I didn't mind causing a stir. Like, I don't know, I like wanted to be popular and well liked, but I was just like, I don't care if you like hate on me. I don't know.
It's an energy I did not have growing up. Like, it would have scared me to make a big stink about something and then like stand in my power and be like, I didn't say I was going to do this. I said other people shouldn't do this.
But I do think that was like maybe the first taste of like a hater. You know what I mean? Like clearly that was no social media. Like that was the first time I like did something that got public backlash, you know, and I definitely had mixed feelings about it. Like I was like, this is a little scary. Like moms are like coming at me, you know.
But you felt really confident and just being like, fuck you guys, I don't care.
Yeah, and
That
I feel like
was
I had
scared
everything
me.
to back it up. I was like, I got these teachers on my side. Like I win this round. So anyway, that's the story, guys.
I love that dress. I'm trying to borrow that dress. I'd wear that to a wedding. That's hot.
Bring it back.
The 90s are back in style. Anyways, I hope you guys love that tea. I hope you like the Love is Blind tea.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I had more fun talking about it than if he was on the show. This isn't to drag him. It's just, well, I don't actually
It's a weird
care.
choice. I mean, listen, I don't know him or his story. You know, I didn't see that one coming. People were talking about Jeremy had a fiance, but he kind of came out and said, no, that wasn't true. You know,
Well,
here's
he said
the
we broke up
receipts.
a little bit before. And then some girl said that Jimmy was her boyfriend, but then TikTok sleuths, they proved that to be untrue.
Has this ever been said about a
substantiated?
woman?
That she came on the show with
Yeah.
a partner? No.
Maybe one person on The Bachelor, don't you think? Like, maybe a couple years back, like but then I don't even think it was real. Like, this happens to men.
I also think that like so many people go on these shows with like the women that went on the shows are also like pouring their hearts out. Like a single mother like Jess talking about her feelings and her emotions and pouring their hearts out to somebody who's not going to be with you.
Right.
It's so unfair.
Right.
To be that vulnerable with a
Right.
person that is literally there for the expressed purpose of manipulating you.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's
just
so
like
gross.
to be that level of like dishonesty is just like so gross. Knowing you have someone at home and then like, you're texting them as soon as you get the opportunity. Yeah.
People like bring all those like personal items to like trade with somebody on Love is Blind. It's just gross to me to like manipulate people like that. I hate it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take one more partner. We're going to jump into it with a great episode. You know, we've been drinking AG1 for a while now, and today we've got an extra special offer for you so that you can start optimizing your health for the last couple years now. We've been drinking AG1 every day, no exceptions. Taking care of your health isn't always easy, but it should at least be simple. It's just one scoop mixed in water once a day, every day, and it makes me feel literally like energized, focused. And it's just like I know that I've like woken up and like put this into my routine, done something good for my body. I will fall off of a routine so quickly. I will stop doing something that's good for me, even if it makes me feel good, if it's not the simplest thing. And one scoop in water, drink it. It tastes good. I get all 75 vitamins and nutrients.
When we talk about hair and skin and even like gut health and just feeling good, like it contributes to all of that. So I like those daily routines when you're like, I am actually doing something to improve the way I feel, the way I look. And it feels like a life hack. You're like, this is so easy.
Yes.
And you just have to stick to it.
Supports your immune system. And it's just a morning ritual that is really easy for me to stick to. And I also just like the way it tastes. I work out and then I do it. So I don't use it as like a workout drink. But after I work out, it's a good way to get the water into my body. Also, hydrating is super important. And I just shake it up with like 8 to 12 ounces of cold water.
Yeah, ice cold is the way to go. And then, of course, there are the travel packs. And so these are just individual servings of AG1. They're easy to mix on the go. And we have taken them on the road with us. That's like a really nice thing. You know, if you are a person who like like, oh my God, I'm taking like all these vitamins and what you got to pack them up to travel. Like this is just the like throw the packs in your bag. They weigh nothing, you know, they're just like super easy to put in your carry-on, whatever.
Yeah. And I get run down from these trips, birthday trips, and are more on tour and just like anything like that. So it just is essential for brain, gut, immune health support. And there's vitamins and probiotics, and it's just good for you. So check it out. We love it. If there's one supplement you should start with, it's AG1, and that's why we've partnered with them for so long. So if you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and for a limited time, you'll get 10 free AG1 travel packs. Yes, that's 10 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/GGE. That's drinkag1.com/GGE. Check it out while this offer lasts.
Okay, and last plug before we get into with our guest, our merch. So I'm wearing some of the merch today. Rayna just delivered it to me. It came straight out of the bag. That's why you see this little wrinkle. But, you know, I'm trying to bring wrinkles back. If wrinkles are in fashion, I'll never be late again.
What, are you going to write an article about wrinkles and then never wear a wrinkle again? You're like, I said you guys shouldn't do it.
So anyway, this is our cute little like Los Angeles crop tee. I'm loving this.
Oh, I love it. And we have New York also. We have different colors.
Yes, this mauve is great. I'm just like, I'm big on a crop tee. And so this is so cute. Like I'm wearing leggings today. Wear it with like baggy jeans or, you know, shorts, denim skirt, whatever. We're talking about how to style a crop tee. But anyway, girls gotta eat
anything. Yeah, and the merch is there, and our Vibes Only products are there. If you want to get yourself a good high-end vibrator, we got you.
Okay, Rayna, so excited to introduce this next guest.
I am so excited. All right, guys, we are very excited to welcome a brand new guest today. He is a dating guru and the voice behind the wildly popular account, The Daddy Academy. The New York Post says this man is teaching guys how to be daddies, confident, caring alpha men who aren't brewing in their own angst, and how to make women feel at ease. Please welcome to the show, Niko Emanuilidis.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here.
We're so excited to have you.
I'm excited.
Your last name has 19 vowels in it.
It's out of control. It's as Greek as it could possibly be.
Listen, we love that. That's a turn on.
All right, I'll take it.
You're only here because we thought you were hot on TikTok.
No,
fair enough.
That's
Fair
Rayna.
enough.
Speak for yourself.
Because Tessa thought you were hot.
Hey, I got to get my way in some way.
And he's not single, everybody, so just keep it in your pants. But we actually got a lot of requests for you from our listeners as well. We asked on Instagram, specifically, what male guests do you want to see? Because there's not a ton of people like you doing what you do. And we really love it. I just sent, right before we got here, I was watching a bunch of your content and just like prepping. And I sent to my boyfriend and I was like, we have this guy, Daddy Academy, coming on the show today. He goes, what? Like, I think he was like, what's happening in that room? And I was like, no, you'll really like his content because he really, like, in terms of all the stuff you speak about, you know, he would graduate high from the academy.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for having me on. And yeah, I'm the dean of the Daddy Academy. That's it.
Born and raised in New York. You're from Westchester.
I'm from Westchester, New York,
Okay.
Pleasantville specifically. Born and raised, never left. True New Yorker.
We love it.
All right, well, tell us a little bit about you. How did you become the daddy of the
How did I
academy?
become the daddy? That's a great question. So basically, the way this kind of all started is just through my own like self-help confidence journey. You know, as a young guy graduating high school, I was never like amazing with women. Like I had confidence, like graduated class clown, so that's like my claim to fame, right?
Oh, love that.
But I never like I was always texting my friends like, what do I say? What do I say? And just sort of as time went on, I just became really fascinated with the, you know, man to woman, just dating relationships. And I started at that time, which is like 10 years ago at this point, maybe longer. I just started looking up, you know, those content creators and like learning about it. And as time went on and as I kind of developed into myself, I just sort of became like really comfortable with it. And now I kind of got to a point where I was helping my friends, helping my sister, helping her friends. And I'm like, you know what? There's something here. I've always wanted a platform where I'm helping people, entertaining people, just spreading positivity. And I'm like, the Daddy Academy. So it's a funny name about the story about the name.
Yeah, we want to hear about the name.
story about the name. Right. So during COVID, right, there's nothing to do. I was just like going to the gym and stuff. So I was just sending pump up videos to my friends. Like, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. Well, this is the Daddy Academy, baby. And everyone was just like dying at the name. I'm like, you know what? That's a really good name. Like there's something to it. It's kind of funny, got a little something. So that's kind of the name came about. And in the last year or so, I just started posting this content online, like, you know, wellness, dating, And it took like 8 months and, nothing really was going on. And then one day I made a video about what it means for a man to have daddy energy and sort of just blew up. And now we're here.
Yes.
That was the
Okay.
one.
What is daddy energy? Give it to us, daddy.
Oh, I'll tell you exactly what
I
it
feel
is.
like your girlfriend's going to hunt me down. She's like, you got to stop this bitch. Stop.
No. All right. So I got to give a little context. So a lot of the content out there for men nowadays is basically either you're an alpha male, so you're super macho man, right? Or you're a beta male. You're a bitch. Okay. So to me, that's not very like digestible for guys because not every guy resonates with being like, macho man.
And neither do
So I'm like,
women's wants. What
Exactly.
woman wants either? I'm
no, you're
passionate.
good. You're good. So I'm like, you know what? Women love, like, who's somebody online that women love, right? Pedro Pascal, right? He's the daddy of the internet. But why is that?
Yes.
Right? No, there's science to this.
Yes.
There's science to this. So a man who's in his daddy energy, right? He's masculine. Right? He's not hyper masculine because there's a spectrum of masculinity that women like find attractive, right? He's about his purpose. He's trying to achieve the goals in his life. He's about his physical fitness, whatnot, right? But the lens that he's going through life with is through the lens of love, giving, spreading positivity and good vibes, right? He doesn't take life too seriously. Okay. He's the type of guy when he walks into a room, everybody wants to be his friend. Men, women, people just gravitate to him because he's this beacon of light and fun and good vibes. That's what women find attractive, not these guys with the podcast who sit around the table. Let's talk about how women are all shit.
Well, they're disrespecting women. Like, you know,
Right.
like at the end of the
Right.
day, like you can do both. You can be masculine.
Takes two to tango. So why are we going to sit around a round table and just talk bad about women and what they do? The women not know what they want, right? So I'm hoping with the Daddy Academy sort of be that middle ground for men to kind of learn about their authenticity. Like, okay, I don't have to be all the way on this side to be attractive and for women to like me. Like if I just tap into my authenticity, work to be the best version of myself that I could be, work on my physical fitness, my passions in life, strive to be, then that's attractive. And then just learning like little tips and tricks, obviously. And then I could easily, find a woman who's going to love that. So like, that's my messaging to men.
Yeah.
Right. To women, it's okay. Let's take a look at these guys you're dating. Okay. Because the dating pool isn't fantastic, but let's look at these guys you're dating. And from those early stages, we could really tell, is this man truly prioritizing you for something serious or not, based on his actions and how he's kind of going about things. So that's what the Daddy Academy is about.
We both do the clips and really straightforward advice. And it's not flippant. It's not dismissive. It's just, this is what's probably happening in these situations. And here's how you can pivot your behavior and expectations to find somebody who is a real daddy.
Exactly. That's right. We're trying to find daddies. We're trying to make more daddies. The world just needs more daddies in general.
Well, I mean, this is the thing I talk about all the time and I do feel like I found somebody that I feel like is very rare, but it shouldn't be. It's somebody that is masculine and also is emotional and treats me well and respects, it's just like, and you think, I'm like, oh my God, this insane dichotomy. It shouldn't be that rare. Like, you shouldn't have to choose Andrew Tate or I don't know who's the
Timothy Chalamet.
But Timothy Chalamet is giving daddy energy now, I feel like. I hear your point. I'm trying to think of like a better example. So yeah, we just love what you're doing. And I did want to flag one thing. You said you had a sister, which I think is very important. You don't get to choose that. But I feel like I've been having this conversation a lot about like guys who have sisters. You have an older or younger sister?
I have a younger sister, and that's something I've talked about a little bit. I feel like a man who has a younger sister, like 3 to 5 years younger, he kind of grows up with that natural sort of like protector role and like knows how to like treat. Well, I played Barbie dolls. You know how many Barbie dolls I've played with? And then like the Barbie dream house and the car. I take my Godzilla toys and put them in the Barbie car and we drive around. So it's like men who have a younger sister kind of grew up, tapped into their feminine energy, but in like a healthy way, in that like sort of protector way.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that a lot with men with younger sisters, that they tend to like treat women.
And then older
better
sisters,
overall.
I mean, I read an article recently of men with older sisters because then you grow up respecting this female that's not just your mom. You have these guys that are like, they're terrible guys, but they're like, but I love my mom. I feel like sometimes when guys go too hard on their mom, it's just a cover up for hating women. My mom. And it's just like.
All fuckboys are obsessed with their moms.
Yes.
They use it as a get out of jail free card for being shitty to all other women.
Yes.
But
We can
yes,
move on
an
from
older
this.
sister, like my brother got to see a woman who was like strong. He's so proud of me. He's so impressed by the stuff I do. And he was always my my parents' favorite, so I look up to him too. But we like that you sort of like look at these questions that women ask and just say like, this person isn't into you, and like, let's pivot to find somebody who is almost. And
Right.
I was talking to you before this, and Ash and I were looking at your content and some of the different things, like if he wanted to, he would, and men having a roster. And so we do want to get into some of these behaviors and have you, for lack of mansplain it to us.
We'll get into it. I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just let's start with this if he wanted to, he would thing. And because everything
I
kind of
would love
trickles
to.
down from there, and then how a healthy masculine man pursues a woman, this is all kind of tied in like the intentionality and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So this is what I would say about it. If he wanted to, he would. Okay. It's true 98% of the time.
Right. Exceptions to
Okay.
every rule.
It is. The only exception here is if you have this man who is, he has his own business. He's pursuing this goal that takes a lot of time and mental energy. Like, you have to give a guy a little bit of a pass
Yep.
there, but you also have to read the situation. Okay. Is this guy truly running a business, striving for this goal? Or is he the
he have a
8
job?
a.m. guy at Planet Fitness?
Right.
Right. Like,
Right.
you got to look at, get the whole story, see the whole picture from the way that he's acting, the way he behaves. Like, really, like, look at his socials, get a vibe for this man. And then you could tell the truth if he's truly a man who's after this passion and this goal, or if he's just using that as like an excuse to blow you off. But if he wanted to, he would, is true. Like I said, like 98% of the time. Like, and if he's not prioritizing you, it might not be another woman, but there's something else that he's prioritizing. It could be whatever it is. But if he wanted to, he would, is 100% true. Any man who has a girlfriend knows, like, when you meet that woman who you want to make your girlfriend, like, you're going to make it happen. And that's just a fact.
Everybody, if they wanted to, they would. I have like people that
Right.
try to come visit me, and I'm like, I would confirm this if I wanted you to stay with me. I don't want you to stay with me.
Yeah.
If
Right,
I wanted
right,
to make
exactly.
plans with you, I would. Like, if I wanted to text you back, I would. I think that's just normal human behavior. And I think that there's exceptions to every rule, and we don't want people to feel like they have no agency. Like, everybody should feel like they're in the driver's seat, and you can initiate a date, initiate a text, but there's some point in which you have to pivot. Take a hint.
I like that you mentioned that too, but then sometimes it's like, but he's so busy doing this and that, and it's like, then he doesn't want to. Like that again,
Right.
let's come back to our, if he wanted to, he would. He actually doesn't want to. We have a friend right now, and she's in this relationship. This guy, he's never going to be busier than now. He's just getting out of med school. He's trying to get his residency. He's doing his boards. I mean, no one is busier than this guy. They met at, quote unquote, the worst time in both of their lives. She's starting a business, and they are making it work. They only see each other on the weekends, and they make it work because he wanted to. Like, if you would look at this guy's, timeline, it couldn't be probably worse time to try to fit
Right.
in a girlfriend, like a serious committed relationship. But here we are, and she's had to kind of work around his schedule too. And so examples like that, I get it. You only have so much capacity if you really are some big entrepreneur, this and that. But then it goes back to, well, then I don't want a girlfriend right now. I can't handle it.
Right. Because if they want to, they do. And I'm the
Exactly.
same way. So is Ashley. We run 2 businesses. We're on tour. We have lots going on. We fit people into our lives when we want to.
Exactly. It's not that hard. Not everybody is busy 24 hours a day, nonstop. To
Yeah.
answer a text message. It's like, it's actually impossible. Most guys just get home from work. They'll text you like, oh, I'm so busy, babe. And they're just scratching their balls on their phone. Like, like, it's true. If he wanted to, he would. It's true. And it's true for men and women. It's just like you guys said. It's like, you have to stop telling yourself excuses at some point. Like, if you see a pattern, that's when you have to stop. Right. Yeah. Someone could be busy 1 week, right? Or one day.
Right.
But if you're seeing this pattern, that's when you have to go, okay, what's going on here? And see, really look back and be like, okay, what's been happening? Like,
Yeah.
he's always busy on the weekends, but he says he's working. It's like, he's not working on the weekends. Okay. He turns you into Miss Wednesday. We don't want to be Jenna Ortega here. We don't want to be Wednesday. We want prime time, Friday, Saturday night date
Quality
spots.
time. Well, I just was watching your TikTok, and I just wanted you to at least speak on this briefly. Is this like, should I follow up on this vague plans? And it ends in this, if he wanted to, he would. But I really love this because I think Rayna and I hear this all the time. He said, on Tuesday or on, that maybe the weekend, and should I follow up? And so
Let's touch base this weekend. Are we touching base?
No, you're not touching base. Okay? He knows. You're not touching base. Okay. He didn't forget. He didn't Men in
Right.
Black and forget everything. He knows. He knows that he told you, hey, yeah, let's do something Friday or Saturday, right? And you're like, yeah, okay, reach back out. And then he doesn't do it because what he's doing, this is Roster Town, USA.
Okay.
This is a guy who's keeping you probably as a second or third option and is just kind of just seeing how his week plays out. And maybe you'll hear from him Saturday at 10 p.m. Hey, what are you doing? But like, if he wanted to take you out, and this is a woman that he's like, I'm crazy about this girl. Like, I don't want to let her slip away. Like, she's some other guy is going to ask her on a date. Like, a man doesn't want to let that one walk. Okay. And men know that, like, women, men are going to ask them out. Hot commodities. So it's like, if he wants to lock someone in, like, he's going to lock them in.
So can we debunk, like, he's texting me all the time. The banter's great. I hear from him via text all the time. We're not setting dates. Like, what does that mean?
Texting doesn't mean anything. Texting means nothing. It's about the consistency between the follow through of the actions. Okay, there's words and actions. If there's no follow through and there's no consistency in the amount that you're seeing him in relationship to the texting and the communication, then you're a pen pal.
Right.
You're a clown in his phone.
Well, and I think it doesn't mean he like hates you or thinks you're ugly or doesn't want to fuck you.
No.
It's just like you're not the top priority. So isn't that any relationship Rayna and I both ever been in, you know what that feeling feels like when someone is pursuing you, they only want you, you're prioritized. Right. So we should all be striving for the way that feels. Like if you have other options, then you should be fine being someone's option. But if you're looking for the relationship, why are you letting someone treat you like an option?
Exactly. That's it. And it's like, you need to be very clear at the beginning what you're looking for out of dating. If you're cool with something casual and you're like, that's fine. But if you want a relationship, and the guys just said it, like there's a very obvious feeling of a guy who's pursuing you in this way. Like it feels totally different to any other type of guy you've gone on a date with. Like it's just going to be very consistent. You're going to see him consistently. You're going to hear from him consistently. You're not going to be wondering, when am I going to hear from this guy next? And it's just going to feel really smooth, and you're going to feel very safe in knowing what his intentions are and how he feels about you. So if there's inconsistencies here, then he isn't really sure of how he feels about you, or he is sure. He just knows that he wants it to be a little bit more casual.
He is sure that he does not want
He's sure. He's sure of something.
So this is, early stages of a relationship. And I don't think either one of us has like a no tolerance policy. People are busy. They do have a couple people in their life that they're dating. That's fine. As long as you're not full stop, pause. I'm putting all my eggs in this basket with this person that I'm not hearing from, that I'm waiting for, that I did my makeup and maybe I'm going to hear from them for a plan tonight. Like, it's okay for other people to be dating others, but I don't want to feel disrespected in my time. I don't want to wait around, not know.
Exactly.
Like, if you say, let's make plans Saturday, I don't hear from you on Friday, I'm making plans. You can come to the plans, but I'm going to make a plan with my girlfriends. You're welcome to come along if you text me.
Yeah, the most valuable thing we all have is our time. And if somebody's disrespecting your time, like that's just grounds to ghost them and never talk to them ever again. Like if you get blown off once, like if he gives a really good response, why? Like maybe we'll see how it goes. But like if somebody's continuously playing with your time, that's not something you should stay in.
Yeah. I think back to like something that Nick Vile says too, where he's just like, guys aren't that different from women when they like them. Like they're thinking about them all the time, wanting to text them all the time. They're talking to their friends. They're obsessing over everything. We've watched it happen too, like with our guy friends or things like that. And it's just like, again, this isn't like a rule across the board, but I think sometimes we've been fed this thing that, well, guys are just, in general, they're just more aloof. They're not going to this, they're not going to that. And it's like, I don't know. That's not really been in my experience. Like when a guy really wants a woman, he is like stopping at nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's sort of the pass that a lot of men get. I call it like the dumb guy method.
Yes.
Oh, I was sleeping. Like, oh, I'm so, these guys, it's the funniest thing. They're so sleepy. It's the darndest thing. They're so sleepy. When you,
I just don't buy this shit that you're all so incompetent. I don't buy it.
He just is really sleepy.
Naps a lot.
Very sleepy. Okay. But that's it. It calls the dumb guy method. Okay. Guys know that women perceive them to be kind of dumb. We're not that dumb. We're not that dumb. We're dumb, but we're not that
But even
dumb,
if you're dumb, you're going to pursue a girl you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. Men
look at Travis
know,
Kelce. I'm just kidding. I don't know if he's dumb or not. It's debatable.
Men know the women that they want. Okay, this is a perfect example of this. So you've gone on a date with some weird guy and you're like, oh, I don't like this guy. I'm dumping him. You dump him and then he's obsessively blowing you up. I miss you. I love you. I love you forever. That man knows what he wants. He knows what he wants.
Yeah.
So it's like every guy knows that. It's just, their behavior. It kind of depends. But guys know what they want.
I've acted pretty intolerable and still had men pursue me. If they want you, they will stop at nothing.
Oh my God.
I've done crazy shit and had men still pursue me.
It's so true. Like I thought of like past boyfriends and like the early stages, especially when I was like younger and I was just like a drunk mess, you know, and I'm like, there's no way he's calling me again. Next day, boop, 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 want to hang out today? What? Why?
And see, and I think that's a great point. Like there are all these little guidelines and rules to follow to kind of, make sure you're going about dating the right way. But at the end of the day, the right man for you or the right woman for him, like it's gonna work out. You could do everything completely wrong.
Yeah.
And if the guy has these true intentions for you and he feels that connection, like you could mess up a lot and it won't make that big of a difference.
Right.
Totally.
You shouldn't feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time. Like one misstep and he's going to stop liking you. That's not really reality.
That doesn't. No, I hooked up with this guy and I found out he had a girlfriend. And then I told her. This was years ago. And they broke up. And then I heard from him like a month later. I ruined his life and he still reached back out to me.
They're sick.
There's nothing you can do to make them go away if they want to date you.
I know.
Okay, and then I want to just close the loop on this. I mean, there are people that are shy. There's men that are shy, of course. And they're not as pursuant. They're not as much of a hunter. So like, there are people that fit into that box. How much should we be like texting and like taking the lead? Because there are some people like, I know this guy, he's just shy. He's not like super pursuant, not such a hunter. When do you say like cut your losses and go? All
right, so this is my stance on this, okay? For the most part, like think of it like a car, right? The guy is driving the car, but women typically, you're the one putting the gas in the car. Well, so I call those like indicators of interest. So you should be giving a man these indicators of interest that you want to go out with him. You want to see him again. You want him to keep doing the right things. Throw the dog the bone, as they say, right? So by doing that, you could help along these guys. It just depends on the guy. Some guys need a little bit more indicators of interest than others. Some guys, like you said, are just naturally hunters. They know how to pursue. They're boom, boom, setting the dates, whatever. Some guys are a little shyer. Maybe their confidence isn't quite at the point where they're able to read your interest level. So by you making it a little more obvious for him, he could then take that lead and run with it. But as far as like you ladies, like trying to plan and set the dates, I think that's fine at a certain point in your sort of relationship, but you just want to be careful about doing that too soon and sort of forcing the issue with somebody before they've showed you that that's sort of the direction they want things to go, because you could be like, oh, things have been going great, but you set up the past 3 dates and he's just going along for the ride. So you have to it's a fine line there.
Okay.
I love that point. I think that there's this kind of old school thinking of like, just be a bitch, you know? And it's like, I don't know, like, I think most guys want a woman that makes them feel good, like feel desired, feel, not over the top, but just like feel like you want to spend time with them. And I know guys that are just a little more in their head. I think like even the younger generation just has more anxiety, maybe more insecurity wrapped into that, and more spiraling like, oh, I don't know if she likes me and this and that. And so to your point, yes, like show someone you like them, not smothering them, not over the top, but like the indicators, like you said.
Exactly. And that should help the guy kind of get the hint. My problem with like what some women do sometimes is like they keep doing it, and then the guy's not taking the hint. Like I said, we just said earlier, guys aren't stupid. He knows that you're showing him signs that you like him. If he doesn't take the ball and run with it, now you're chasing.
And you know what else? Ask a girlfriend. Like my boyfriend told me he did this. He showed his best girlfriend a text from me and she was like, she's into you. Because I think he was like, I don't know, and like the backstory, whatever, had him in his head a little bit. And she was like, no, this is what we do as women. So it's like, have a girl weigh in, or, a friend like you.
No, that's true. I mean, a lot of guys, guys get a bad rap, but it's really only a small percentage of guys who are really running the rosters and doing all this. A lot of guys, there's a lot of really great guys out there who just don't quite know how to go about those pursuing phases in the early stages and how to kind of convey themselves in the most like attractive way. Because men's biggest problem is they usually come across as way too needy and clingy. And then like women are kind of like repulsed by that. Like, oh, I thought this guy was cool. And then he started blowing me up and saying weird shit. Like, so a lot of men need to learn how to like take a chill pill. Okay. You just went on this date. Don't blow her up. Give her a little chit chat for a day or two and then ask her on the next date. Like, don't start going all in, texting all day, every day. It's just a much healthier, better pace to allow that space between the dates, not smothering communication. Because through that space, you sort of decipher your feelings and realize like, how do I actually feel about this? If you're just blowing each other up and seeing each other every day, you're building a connection based in just dopamine and those exciting new feelings, not actually rooted in is this person a good match for me or not? How am I feeling when I'm away? Distance makes the heart grow fonder, right?
Yeah.
And that it's really true.
Yeah, I mean, I think so much texting builds a bit of a false sense of intimacy where you're like, we talk constantly and we laugh all the time and the banter's great. I know so much about him, but you don't really know so much about him. So it's nice to take your time. I think life is long and we can take our time and not have to see somebody every single day. I mean, do whatever feels good, but I still think we can take our time.
Yeah. And that's why what I sort of preach is like the healthiest way for the beginning stages of a relationship. And like you said, you could break the rules and could still work out perfectly, but this is just a way to sort of ensure that you're not giving your time and energy to people who don't deserve it because you don't know what their true intentions are. So I always say for men, because like I said, men's biggest problem is they typically come across as too needy. So the best way to kind of settle that feeling is 1 date per week for the first 3 weeks to a month, right? Consistent communication, not constant communication, always making sure she knows like the next time she's going to hear from you. She knows like your feelings and how you're progressing this, right? But you're allowing that space and time for her to see that your intentions are pure, right? Because if you just love bomb and see somebody 5 times in the first week of knowing them, you don't know that person. You literally don't know him at all. And after a month, you might not even know him, but probably closer to 2 months, you can get a good idea. But it just behooves both parties to kind of take their time in the early stages, because if it's meant to work out, it's going to work out. And all it's going to do is weed out people who are after things that aren't genuine, or just, if you're looking for a relation to this guy, might just be trying to, okay, if I could see her twice this week and then early next week, I could probably hook up with her really quick, right? We don't want that. You want to see how a man operates over that period of time so you can get a really good vibe for his true intentions.
Create scarcity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I definitely support that. But then I think you also hear, like our friends we mentioned, and, I've had some relationships in my past where you just like kind of know, and you're not spending every night together, but it is a little more frequent. You might have that story of like, I don't know, we just kind of like spent the whole weekend together and it was early stages and we just kind of knew. But I think that's when both parties are like really into it and secure about it. And like, you're also both in the same stage of life. I think you can feel that difference where it's like this insane, like love bomby situation. And when you're just like, I don't know, we just kind of knew. And we just, like I think of like Eden and her husband, they just got engaged 6 weeks into like they were.
Yeah, there's exceptions to
there's exceptions to every rule of just kind of like, we just knew and we were both securely attached, knew what we wanted out of life, and we just went full court press on each other. But I want to also just hone in what you said, like, when you're going to hear from him again. That's like so important. I think that's what drives women crazy, and probably men too, of just like, I don't know when I'm going to hear from them again. Like, I don't know if I'll ever see them again. So like, I would hope, that the good guys out there like understand that's like a feeling you should provide.
Yeah, no, my recommendation for that is this, right? So let's say we go on a first date, right? We go on a first date on a Saturday. We have a great time. And afterwards you text me, oh, we had a great time. And I said, oh, I did too, right? Maybe the next day I'll open up with a little chit chat or something like, oh, I'd love to see you again. What do you have going on next weekend? And maybe you say, oh, I'm free Friday night. I'll say, perfect. You know what? I'll hit you up on Wednesday with the plan and we'll get it all straight. So then you might not hear from me Monday, Tuesday, but you know that you're going to hear from me on Wednesday.
Yes.
I told you when to expect to hear from me. And that's the comfort that women want to hear. It's not about like not hearing from him. It's about knowing when you're going to hear from him
and
next.
when somebody says they're going to do it, that they actually do it. What a nice, comforting feeling.
Yeah.
Following through the actions and the words, and then there's the follow through.
And then we get to relax. Like we say this all the time when we talk about attachment styles. Like, you can really be pretty innately secure and someone can make you anxious, based on the way they're treating you, their communication. So when you really come to expect someone's going to do what they say they're going to do, you're going to see them again, they're into you, enough to keep moving the goalpost. You're like, you can just chill and be your true self too. There's nothing worse than that feeling. You're like, we've all been there as women where we're like, I didn't even recognize myself. This guy has turned me into like a weird, anxious, clingy version of myself. And who wants that?
No, I hear that all the time. And that's a man who's spinning plates.
Well, let's talk
Yes,
about
let's
it.
talk about a roster. Let's talk about a man who can build a roster.
All right. So you might think this is good because he has good team management skills, but it's not.
I am not a team player, okay?
Yeah, no, we're the star player, okay?
I'm the only player.
Right. That's it. You're the only player on that team. We're not on the bench. We're not the second or third leading scorer. Like, we want to be the star of the team. Okay. So when it comes to like a man who's running a roster, right, and the way to sort of tell if you're on one or not is very similar to what I was saying earlier. It's the inconsistencies in his behavior, communications, and how much you're seeing him, right? Like I said earlier, are you only seeing this guy on like Wednesdays or Monday nights? Like, and you only see him every 2 weeks? It's like, what do you think he's doing all this other time? Who's getting Saturday?
Yeah.
The star player's getting Saturday. That's who's getting Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very obvious, but the way that men will sort of make up for the lack of seeing you, right? Like if you're like my if you're like my third girl, right? If you're third string, I'm not seeing you every week. I might see you every 2 weeks. So then what I would do is like you text a lot, right? So that's what we're talking about. The texting is false comfort.
Yeah.
If I text you a lot and say, "Yeah, baby, I can't wait to see you again. I'm just so busy. I'm so busy at Foot Locker. I can't see," like, you know, like
The Foot Locker manager.
Foot Locker man.
Did you work there in high school? Be honest.
I did not work at Foot Locker.
They wore referee costumes. Remember?
That- yeah.
They had to dress like refs.
Like they were actually
Aggressive
running a
uniform.
roster.
There you go. Yeah. So like that's how you could sort of tell like where you sort of stand. Like how often are you actually seeing him? That's the key. The communication, the texting, the phone calls, a guy who's really experienced will throw in some FaceTimes, you know.
FaceTime.
But how often are you actually seeing him? If you're not seeing him at least once a week, there's a problem.
If you are in this cycle where you're like, I'm getting a lot of texts, FaceTimes, I like that. That feels good. How do we break the cycle? Do we stop responding? Do we stop answering?
So you sort of have to put a little test in place. I just was working with a client and this actually really worked.
Okay.
So you have to see the pattern. Like I said, you have to figure out what this pattern is. Like, let's just use what I was saying. You're only seeing them on Wednesdays. You never seen them on a Friday or Saturday night. You've been going out for like a month and a half, 2 months at this point. You are no longer available during the week. You're no longer available.
Okay.
So you're like, we're going out Friday or Saturday, or we're not going out. And then you see where his priorities are. If you don't see him for 2-3 weeks, then it's done. Then you know that's the answer. He wasn't willing to give it to you. So you have to take away your availability in the way that you've been giving it to him, flip it to the opposite, and then see if he makes the changes to meet your new schedule, your new communication style. And if he's willing to do that, that's obviously a good sign. If he doesn't, then he's going to let you walk. He'll just replace you with the next person on the bench. Put me in, coach.
He's like,
And
God, I've just picked up weekends at Foot Locker, babe. I got to work a double at the mall. Like, weekends aren't going to work for me.
I guess if you never draw a boundary, I don't know if you can expect other people to like sniff out where it is. But once you say this is it, then I think it's pretty easy to know what's going on. And I do like the idea of making yourself a little less available, not texting as much, answering the FaceTimes. Because I think that people get that real dopamine hit when you do. And then they don't need to make plans to see you and hang out.
But do you think, I mean, let's talk about the chase. You know, like, do you
Yeah.
think that there's guys out there that are just, they're always going to go back and forth on the chase? Like, if you make yourself scarce, they'll push, but then you do fall into it and then you're available and then they pull again and then you push, you know, like, do you see that where that's like, they really will always just try and then as soon as you're available and you just go back and forth forever in this like toxic cycle?
So a lot of men, like it's a conquest, right? Maybe there's this woman, he's not sure about his intentions for her yet, but like, I really like that girl. She's hot. I want to get her, right? If you, like I was saying earlier, right off the bat, see him bam, 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 3 times in 1 week, you're giving him exactly what he wanted. He won. Okay. And if his intentions weren't pure, if you didn't get that feeling early on, like you were talking about where you just know, which that's like, you know, that's the best when you meet somebody, you're just like, this is it. Right. But if you don't know, and you're just feeling those positive feelings because maybe he's attractive or whatnot, and you just want to keep seeing him. If you give him all of that access to you, you just gave it away. Like you just gave away the value. Scarcity is value. There's a fine line. And that's why I say in the first month of dating, that cadence of once a week, it allows a little mystery, right? While you're building comfort over time, getting to know each other in person. And then after that point, after 3 weeks to a month, then it could start to ramp up at a healthy pace.
I think if you feel like you're in this cycle of like game playing, you can stop, you know?
Yeah.
And like you'll sniff it out pretty soon.
Right. And I just think, unfortunately, probably some guys are wired to be like that forever or until they're, I don't know, 45 and they just finally want to slow down and, you know, settle down and their bodies start breaking down. They have no more testosterone left. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I just kind of like, they might just go do that forever. And that's just probably not who you want as a partner, as a stable partner. But we like this saying, and I can't remember who said it. I think it just was something, you know, came from TikTok. And it was like, for women, don't play hard to get, just be hard to get. Just live your life. Like, do you have your hobbies, have your girlfriends, have shit going on. If you really have already built like a full life where a partner would just be the cherry on top in the first place and you got your stuff going on and you're doing this and that, you're not constantly just like trying to plan your next move. It's just actually organic to you. And I think guys pick up on that too.
Guys can pick up on if a woman's trying to play games. Like an experienced guy can pick up on that. Like, oh, she's playing hard to get. Like she's purposely doing this. Like a lot of guys can pick up on that. That's why I say, just like what you said, like just be busy, like have things going on, love your life, love the life you're already living right now. And you don't need somebody. Like if he comes and it's a perfect alignment, it feels great, then yeah. But like you don't need a guy or anybody, a relationship to be happy. If you're not happy by yourself, just doing your own thing, then why would somebody be happy with you? Like, what are they coming into, you know?
Because don't you feel like guys can also sniff out that desperation, that like, I'm looking for my missing puzzle piece. You know, like, my life isn't complete until, you know, like that kind of feeling I feel like is really kind of radiates off of you. And that feels like that's what pushes people away too.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's totally true. You have to be comfortable with yourself and your own skin and in your current life. And that's the only way you're going to attract. Like I talk a lot about like energies and like being at that place where, you know, like energies attract, right? And if you're in desperado mode or you're not happy with everything and you're like, I just need a man. I just need a man. Like, no, you don't. Get out there.
Yeah, get a hobby.
Buckle up those boots.
Yeah.
Get a dog.
Get a Peloton, whatever.
Literally a hobby, anything.
Yeah.
So can we talk about sort of the mistake? I guess there's a tactic that people take where they're like, he doesn't seem to be latching on, so I'm going to show him how great I am. I'm going to give him the full girlfriend experience without the title, and he's just going to see how amazing I am because I am amazing, and he'll come around to it.
This is the thing. We've seen this happen. Rayna and I want to scream because you can feel when women are doing this. Like if I just go harder and show him what a like nurturing, there for him, supportive woman I can be. Okay, you take it away.
Yeah. No, you don't want to give somebody girlfriend treatment until they've told you you're their girlfriend. Like there needs to be a level that you hold back, right? Like you can show him 80%. But that final 20% is saved until he says, you're my girlfriend, right? You have to keep a little bit in the tank.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to. You want to make a guy earn it, so to speak. Like there's a level that he has to earn when it comes to your availability, what you're giving him emotionally, the amount of communication, because scarcity in some capacity, and like over time it builds, but like scarcity is valuable. It is. That's just a fact. If he feels like he's still kind of clawing to get to know you, get to have a little more access to you and learn more about you, like that's going to kind of keep him pursuing. If after 2 weeks you give him the whole kit and caboodle, like it's it's done.
And whatever that looks like to you, I mean, I like you breaking it down in percentages. I might go a little harder. I might go 60, 40, 70, 30. But like just that like little gifts or I don't know what it looks like. It's just,
you know, my friend said, she said, I would never leave a man's house better than I found it. I kicked the hamper over on the way out the door.
Or no, like you used to say before about something like making a
same girl. I would never make him dinner.
Why you cooking for this guy?
Yeah.
Same girl. She said I would never cook him dinner, and I'll knock the dresser over on my way out the door. I'm not making his bed.
I thought of you. I bought you this little gift. What, bitch? What? Like, and I think it's just whatever it feels like to you. You know you're doing it. You know you have thought that if I just show him X, Y, and Z, he'll commit. It's like actually the literal opposite. If you withhold X, Y, and Z, he might.
Right. No, it's true. It's true.
So you have a video where you talk about like, I feel like I'm treating him better and he's actually treating me worse.
Yeah. Love this one.
Yeah. No, that's like, I hear that a lot. And that's just a guy. Because listen, women do these things too. It might
Yeah.
just look a little differently.
Mhm.
So if you're giving me all this effort, and then the other guy's not reciprocating it, he's doing that on purpose because he knows that if he reciprocates it, you're showing her that you want to progress things. So the only way to put things to a halt is to not reciprocate or to stop doing things. Okay. And if you're dating somebody, and the trajectory should always be positive, it should never go down. Right. So if you met each other, it's going great. You start doing more and more and more, and all of a sudden he's doing less. It's like it should never dip. There should never be a dip there. It should always be this positive trajectory. So if you feel like you're trying to give more and progress things, and he's kind of pulling away, taking it slow. Oh, I'm busy. Sorry, I was just so busy this week. Like those are signs. You just have to read those flags. They might not be red, but they're beige. If you squint your eyes, they're a little yellow.
I mean, you can say to yourself, if I liked somebody, would I treat them like this? I mean, we're all people. We're breaking it out as like men do this, blah, blah. But like, would a human being that wanted to see me and date me, would I treat them like that, you know?
I like that you said it should go in a positive trajectory because, yes, of course, we all understand long-term relationships have the ebb and flow and have ups and downs. That's not what we're talking about. But I feel like you sometimes might hear somebody say, let's say they started this, whatever it is, situationship dating in January. And here it is, March. I just wish it was back to it was in January. No, we are too early. It shouldn't be going downhill that quick, like before you're committed. Like I think that's like a tell sign where someone's like, but at the beginning it started out so good. It's like, what are you talking about? 3 weeks ago? This isn't a 10-year marriage, wishing it went back to the early days. This is like a few weeks back when he was hot on your tail. We'd like to offer people, like, if you find yourself saying this thing, reflect on what that means.
I hear that all the time. It's like there should not be any downward trajectory until, like you said, you're in a relationship, and then maybe 6 months down the line you have like a little argument or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, like the first 3 months should be like pretty smooth sailing.
Yes. Like up. Like it should be easy. It should feel easy. Like no one in a really strong, stable relationship has ever been like, oh, the beginning was rough. Like it's just like, I don't know, it's pretty easy. We just liked each other, so.
Right.
I like this question. We asked people what they were sort of wanting to talk about on Instagram, but I like this just as a general addition to this. Why do men pull back as soon as you match their energy? So like they're pursuing you hard. They're coming for you and you're like, okay, I could do this. And they're like, bup. What made you think that we were dating? I think that women really relate to this. This happens a lot. I think women are like, he's pursuing me. Okay, I'll lean in. And they're like, ew, what made you think I wanted this?
Totally. Like, you started this.
I know. Do you know what I'm talking about, Daddy?
I know what you're talking about, but it's like, it's a case by case basis. Like you really have to dive into each thing and be like, okay, tell me about the first week. Tell me about the second week. What came after the second date? How did he pursue you coming out? Because a lot of people are just like, I started giving him and he pulled back. I'm like, whoa. But let's look back 2 weeks. There are signs right there. He never wanted anything serious with you per se. He was just trying to push the issue to get more time with you, to potentially sleep with you, to have you on his roster or whatnot. And then now you're like, oh, let me try to push the issue back and try to make this happen. And then all of a sudden he's pulling back because he knows, like I said, if he matches your effort, if your effort is going above his, well, you'll know that he wants a relationship.
Sure.
So if your effort's going up and his max effort was here, right? You match him. In his mind, he's going, oh, shit, here we go. We're getting close. You start passing him. He's going to go, whoa. I got to pull this back because I don't want a relationship right now. I've only been seeing this girl for a few months. I got to pull this back slowly and surely. So maybe he'll text you a little bit less. Maybe he'll skip a week of seeing you and he'll slowly pull it back. But if he likes you and he wants to keep you around, he's not going to disappear. But there'll be this slow pullback to a point where you're seeing him less, you're hearing from him less, but you're still seeing him, but the consistency had just went way down. That's a guy who's seeing multiple women. A guy who just started to feel differently, he'll pull back for a few weeks and then he'll openly just say to you, listen, I'm just not feeling this, blah, blah, blah. But if the consistency of everything pulls back, you're giving more, he's pulling back, you're seeing him less, you're talking to him less, there's either other women or other priorities, and he doesn't want to match your energy because he knows that you're going to think this is heading towards a relationship then.
Yeah, that seems pretty simple. It's like if you matched his energy and he didn't like it, he doesn't want to date you.
Yeah.
He want to sleep with you.
I want to talk to you about something. Every once in a while, Rayna and I see these situations, probably more frequent. It's not like the most rare thing where we have watched this relationship from the beginning It's never been great. It's been a lot of push and pull. Like the woman, for example, is just taking the scraps. You know, it's constant anxiety. Where is he? Can't rely on him. Is he going to call? Is he going to show up for my birthday? This and that. Just like, you know, she's in therapy. It's a whole mess. Like it's not good. It's bad. And it goes on forever. And she just waits it out and just, I don't know, breaks him down, and they get married. I mean, we see it, and it's just,
I've seen it.
It's sad. And I'm like, did the guy just get worn out? You know, or like, did he realize she was the one because she stuck around? Like, I don't like these stories because they're not the norm and they're not healthy or how it should be. And who knows? Those people could die together in the bed like The Notebook, or they could get divorced. Like, I don't want to say these marriages are doomed, but we really do see it. And we always want to tell people, like, that's the real exception to the rule. But sometimes if that's your friend group and you see that a lot, you're like, I can do it. I can just wait it out and be miserable, and one day he'll come around.
We see people be miserable for years. And then he finally like pulls into the parking spot. But like at what cost to your own mental health has this happened?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot too. You're wearing him down, and he essentially, well, basically what happens is like they built an attachment. Okay, then it's not necessarily love or this genuine, passionate love, but they have this connection. It's almost like a parasite, and they're just like attached to each other. And at a certain point, because the fighting, the push and pull, it creates this dopamine, like I want to win her back, and like that fighting and the making up, the fighting and then the making up, it's just deeper seeding this attachment, this parasite. And the longer it goes on, the harder it is to get rid of.
I think that's
Right?
interesting because you see people with somebody for years, a man that won't marry them, and then they marry the next girl in 6 months. And so maybe what was holding those people together previously was this like parasitic relationship where they're like, we've like been in this line for so long, I guess I'll just stay in this line.
That's exactly what ends up
Sunk
happening.
cost
And then
fallacy.
they'll be together for years, they'll get married, and then they get divorced after 6 months.
And then we always are like, you've made him work so little. You know, you've put up with so much. So I think there's some guys out there that are just not great guys, and they know she'll take whatever and put up with whatever. I mean, there's certainly got to be guys out there that are like, I don't know, man, she has just let me treat her like shit for 3 years. Like, I'll marry this one because I can just do whatever the fuck I want forever.
Right.
I'll be at the strip club with the boys. We got 3 kids
Yeah.
at home. Like, because she has shown me she'll take whatever I give her. Unfortunately, I think it's like the
No.
sad side of it.
That's 100% right. And your boundaries or lack of boundaries is representative of your inner self-worth. So it's like those two things are congruent. If you have soft boundaries, then your internal perception of your self-worth isn't where it should be. And like, you know, it could be for a lot of reasons. It could be because of this guy treating you poorly. But whatever the reason is, the only way to build it back up is, well, I mean, like obviously therapy, talking to your friends, and like eventually you just have to take a stand and just be like, listen, this is my life. I need to change this. And the only way to break through is to hold that boundary and to break up and to move on, because that's the only way you're going to get the strength and feel that positive, you know, the positive thing about yourself. Like, I did it. I stepped away from something. I actually was working with somebody recently who was a very similar situation. And I'm like, it might be tough for like a month or two. Like, you might be
Right.
really sad, but on the other side of this is the happiest version of yourself that you've ever been. But you just have to have the faith that it's going to be there.
I really feel for people that have a hard time drawing boundaries, that are people pleasers, that don't know what it feels like to be the priority and to be really lifted up. And you're just like, maybe this is what it is. And I would hate the feeling of being chosen because somebody just knows that I will put up with anything and that, you know, she's stuck around. So this must be love. You know, I feel for people that are in these situations that have never been treated like a huge priority. But you're so right. Like, you do have to get a little uncomfortable, unfortunately, because there is people that will treat you better than that and not like an option while they run around and do whatever they want.
How many billion people are there in the world?
Right.
6 billion, I don't know, like billions of people. Like, there's so many people out there. Like, you think this one guy who's treating you poorly, like, what is so great about this?
I
Nothing.
know.
You hate it. You hate your life. You hate yourself. You hate everything about this.
Yeah.
You have to change it. It's because of this attachment. They've lost a sense of
Yes.
self. And
Yes.
that's what I hear about a lot of people who are in like these negative relationships, is they always say like, I don't know who I am anymore. It's because you became like an amoeba, like attached to this person, and you really lost who you truly are. And that's why when these people finally do break free and they start doing things that make them happy again, and the self-help, it's this glow up like you've never seen, because they've they quite literally have turned into a new person.
I mean, I want to do a whole episode on this, but toxic relationships like ruin who we are, and I think it's so sad that people are just, think they always have to be with a partner, because for me in my past, nothing has been more unhappy, given me more anxiety, more stress than a bad relationship. Like I'd be single all day over that, like single, live my best life, doing what I want, be with my girlfriends, this and that. Then like that constant around the clock 24/7 anxiety loop of the toxic relationship.
It's horrible.
And
No, it's
I know
horrible.
that, like, listen, I'm a fool me 5 times person sometimes. I'm not a zero tolerance. I'm such a bad
on.
bitch. You can't ever fuck up. Like, I have let people acted poorly, and I'm not always proud of it. But, like, at this age, I can't be in a situation where I just feel bad all the time. And I never know if you're going to show up for me. I never know when the other shoe is going to drop. And I have girlfriends that, like, I watch their quote unquote partners, like, just treat them poorly time and time again. And I'm like, how have we dealt with this 6 times now and we haven't had enough? You know?
Yeah.
Are you a good boyfriend, Daddy?
Of course I am.
What was the last date you took your girlfriend on?
When was the last date?
Oh.
Rayna, you put him on the spot. He's nervous.
No.
Where was your
So-
first date?
Where was my first date? You know what? What the hell was the name? Oh, it was called Freehold.
Freehold? Freehold in
Maybe.
Williamsburg?
No,
Or
no,
Freehand, the Freehand Hotel in Flatiron.
I'm horrible.
Sounds
I'm
like a
blanking.
lie. Sounds like a lie.
Let's just say it wasn't like
Oh God.
Mr. Suave best date, but like just like you were saying, the connection of the first date was just like a special one. We just like vibed off the bat, and it was just from there. It just seemed like supernatural and something that we knew like, okay, this is something serious.
I love that.
You don't have to answer us. But I'm just curious. Like,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this a long-term, short-term? Like, have you guys been together for a while, or?
Like 2 years.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I saw a little Halloween photo of you guys together.
And then how'd you meet? Did you meet in the wild or on an app or a setup? Or?
We met on an app.
Whoa.
Okay.
I love it. Okay, those are my questions.
All right, and we won't get too far into your relationship. Offline, you can text us about her.
Yeah, sure.
But this has been really fun. We are really excited to have you on the show, and these topics are great. And everybody should really check out your TikTok. I mean, there's really great advice and just information there.
I know. I'm really so happy to see what you're doing, and really just like a counterbalance to some of the like really terrible stuff that men are getting fed and then is trickling down to the female experience as well. And so this is great.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, guys.
Tell
Thank you so
people
much
where
for
they
having
can
me on.
find you, TikTok, Instagram, anywhere else you want them to look you up.
Yeah, so my TikTok handle is The Daddy Academy. Okay, so you could look me up on there. On Instagram at Niko Eman, Nikoeman. It's an abbreviation of my crazy long Greek last name. So you can find me in both those places, posting similar content. Instagram is, I got a little bit more of my personal life on there and some other things that I do. But yeah, if you're interested in like one-on-one sort of consultations or coaching, I kind of offer that too. You could DM me, or there'll be a link in my bio you can click. And there's some big things on the horizon. Nothing that I could really talk about right
I
now.
can
but
feel it. I'm like, we
there's some
need
big
it. The
things
TED
coming.
Talk,
Very
the
excited.
actual academy itself.
Big Daddy stuff is on the rise.
Doing daddy stuff. That's it.
Doing big daddy stuff.
Well, thank you so much. This was such a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed your teachings from the Daddy Academy, and you can find us at girlsgottaeat.com. We are Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I am Ash Hess. Rayna is Rayna.Greenberg. And of course, our other company, Vibes Only, which is vibesonly.com. Shop all your sex toys. Subscribe on YouTube. Share this episode with a friend. Share this episode with a guy who needs to pick up on that daddy energy. And we will see you next week.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.